Hi, welcome to our channel. We're the Simple Teachers. This is Angie. I'm Whitney. Welcome to our channel. If you're brand new, make sure you subscribe. Today we have an awesome video for you, and I'll let Angie kick it off.
All right, we're going to do another edition of Teacher Center. Today we're going to watch a Tier 2 Comprehension intervention. Well, not really an intervention. This is more of an extension of a high group in a second grade classroom. So we're going to see how Whitney handles a second grade comprehension extension is what we'll call it. And this is for us analyzing some great teaching.
So to give you a teeny bit of backdrop before it gets going, I briefly mention it, but my students know, you guys might not know. This story has already been read in class. It was our main selection for the week. We have already used it in our comprehension Tier 1 instruction. So now they're getting a second read of the story and we do something else with it.
Great.
Yesterday, we read the story The Lion, the Mouse in class, and we summarized as a class. Yesterday, during your win time, you guys had the assignment to do some jottings. We chose two strategies, question and comment. So after each page, you were to do that. So let's have a little discussion. After you reread page 210, raise your hand if you have a question you would like to share. Right now, I'm kind of the leader of the discussion. Later in there, you guys will kind of lead. Okay, Nina, share your question after page 210.
Does the mouse have a name?
Does the mouse have a name? Great question. Call on anyone to answer that. Maybe we have the answer, maybe we don't.
Sophie. What was your question? Does the mouse have a name? No, but the mouse was a mother, is what the story said.
So the author didn't give her a name, but Sophie says, but we know she's a mother. Great question. Okay. Did anyone have a comment they would like to share for page 210? We all should have. Good. Who would like to share there? Each one of you will share at some point today. Let's have Jade share your comment. Evaluate. How did it make you feel? And then say something about it.
How old are
So first tell us how it made you feel.
sad if she dies
Do you agree with Jade's comment or have something so different?
different.
Okay, they're agreeing with that comment. I agree as well. Okay, Liam, let's hear your comment. That was very different.
That the mouse would get eaten.
Worried that, what did he say, crew?
I'm worried that the mouse would get eaten.
And many of you are agreeing with that. Okay, now on page 211, someone who hasn't shared yet, what was a question that you were wondering? Or if you weren't wondering anything, like a quiz type question. Good, make sure we're doing both. I'm challenging you guys to do a question and a comment for each page.
All right, so what we're seeing right now is a higher group. They're coming to you, and it looks to me like they have pre-read their assignment and made notes on their graphic organizer of questions or comments. And then you're having them discuss these in their group.
Yeah, so the day before they were given an assignment, and they were given the assignment to use two additional strategies, and the stopping points for this text were per page. That made it nice. And so we were coming back and discussing, and this is like the beginning of second grade. And so you see me being the leader of the discussion. They're not leading it yet. I'm training them how to run a discussion, and hopefully by the end of the year, someone else can take over that lead role in facilitating the discussion if we get there. Sometimes in second grade we can get students there, and sometimes not. So we'll just have to see how the year goes. But yep, they're discussing what they had done the prior day.
I like seeing this because I think it does a couple different things for teachers of different grades to watch this. First of all, it sees the expectations we can have of second graders, the things that they can do on their own. And it kind of aligns our expectations as teachers to what they can do.
Sure.
Some upper grade teachers would see a second grader and think, oh, they could never do a literature circle the way I do them in the upper grades. Well, if we train them well and start early, by the end of the year, they can do a literature
Mm-hmm.
circle like we would do them in an upper grade. But we have to start early, and we have to really do it
Yeah.
with them for a long time in pieces,
Yeah.
like you're doing here. So it helps teachers get their expectations up a little bit. And so that's one thing that we can learn from watching this as teachers. But while we're watching, we're really interested also in the instruction that's going on. So you have read this whole group using a different strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And now, because these are high kids, we have 2 new strategies being done. So you were saying that you noticed some of the students didn't have both strategies filled in, didn't have maybe a question or a comment, and so in your teacher head right now in this video, you're wondering a couple things.
Yeah, so I was definitely thinking, okay, number one, do they understand the strategies, which they should, and I know they do because I've taught them in Tier 1 and I've seen them apply these strategies. But sometimes strategies are text dependent as well.
Yes.
Sometimes the text is harder. So that's going on. The strategy, were the strategies appropriate? Do they know them? Are they able to do 2 strategies at the same time? And I think that's where my thought was lying. They weren't able to generate a question and make a comment at each stopping point, which that's fine. That's my assessment as a teacher. I maybe pushed them too hard and I can back off, but I still put that out. I'm challenging you to do 2 because I know they can do it. I've seen second graders do it. But like every high group is different, and this year's high group in my class is different than my prior year. So we have to be flexible with our lesson planning. I did a similar thing the prior year, and they were high flyers. They could have probably done 3 strategies, and they were struggling with 2. So it was just reflect on me. Okay, where do I need to break this off? Are there some students where maybe I would just say to them, okay, you just do question, or you do both, or you just do question. You could differentiate it that way too.
Yeah. But I also love the choice that you introduced 2 strategies in small group and not in your Tier 1.
At this point, no, our Tier 1 has been one strategy focus, and that's why this is more an extension, not an intervention, because I want to push these kids to be able to do 2 strategies because I know they can. But that has not been delivered in my Tier 1 instruction at this point of the year.
Okay, before we go on, the other thing I want to make sure that we talk about is the alignment that you have with your Tier 1 instruction. So the alignment at this point is not the strategy. The strategy is different than Tier 1. The alignment is the text.
Yeah.
You're using the same text.
Yeah, they're getting a second read. The one thing where it is aligned with the strategy, not that week, I have already taught question. I have already taught comment. Those aren't new, but that's not our focus of the week in Tier 1 instruction. But I'm not throwing brand new things. I don't have time to teach them something completely brand new. So I'm using things we've already learned, but yes, the alignment is definitely the text for sure that week.
Good point. All right. Okay, let's watch some more. See where we get to.
Do both. So you will need today, you need to do both. That comment is great. Don't erase it. You need to add questions today. So you would also ask a question. Okay, Sophie, let's hear your question.
Okay. Let's do on page 11. It's scary that the mouse got trapped.
So that's your comment. That's how you felt. What's your question?
How large meal? Like the mouse was saying, like, you need a larger meal, mommy. But like, how large?
How large of a meal?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so one more thing I want to point out here, this little clip that we just watched, one of your students makes a comment and called it a question, or either one way or the other, and you relabeled it correctly. And I like that a lot. It's really important that teachers label the thinking for what it is. So if your student makes a comment, you can say, oh, that's a great comment. If your student asks a question, oh, that's a great question. If your student is able to summarize, that's a really good summary. If your student makes a prediction, oh, I like your prediction. Label their thinking. So when they do that, they're like, oh, that's what that is. It's really important that we do that for them because they're able to do that thinking, but sometimes they don't even realize that's what they're doing.
That's great feedback then.
That was really good that you labeled that thinking. It's an important thing that we do for our students. So it was good that we saw you do that. And then I think you just get them, the rest of this is getting them set up to go and get ready for their next.
Yeah, so that was a teeny discussion. You see my eyes looking up at the time. Our center time was almost over. So I'm like, we got to cut this discussion short. I need to give them their assignment that they're going to be doing during center time, where they're rereading and applying the strategies we had just discussed into it. So we won't even show you that, but basically it's something called jottings, and we'll put the link to the article below. Basically, it's just teaching students how to note take, and we do it through strategy instruction. So all they're doing is jotting down their thinking through strategies. So they're going to be questioning and making comments, evaluating and commenting during this reread of the text. And I just have a simple graphic organizer that has a stop sign. They put the page number and they label their thinking with a key. And so if they're asking a question, they label their question with a question mark key. When they're making a comment, my class has merged into labeling their comment with an emotion. They evaluate how it makes them feel, and if they are worried, they draw a worried face and write their comment of, I was worried because, or whatever. And so that's what they would do. So we're just going to leave in that discussion section. The next part is really just the structure of, okay, let me show you, remind you how we do this. And I give them their assignment and they're on their way.
All right, so you got to see another teacher center where we analyzed a tier 2 of a higher group in comprehension. We usually focus on our strugglers, but we give our high kids just as much attention as we do our strugglers. So we wanted to let you get a glimpse of what we do for those kids too.
Yeah. Well, we hope you enjoyed this video of our Teacher Center series. So make sure you subscribe to our channel. And if you go on our YouTube, there's a playlist button. And in our playlist, you'll see all the different topics or categories of our videos. And there's a playlist for Teacher Center. So if you've missed our previous Teacher Centers, go to that playlist and find them. If there's an element in reading that you are interested in learning more about, we have all of our videos broken up. Phonics, comprehension, we have teacher tips, we have all sorts of playlists going on. So go check it out. Thanks for watching today's video. Make sure you like this video, and if you have any questions or comments yourself, leave them below. Thanks for watching. Simply Teach.